I love this. On boggers, can't really see because it's dark, but on boggers, on boggers, on boggers, on boggers. Square body, OBS. Made a lot of progress. Can't remember if I said or not, but this is all done. Look, I cut it all nice and straight now. Cleaned it up, painted it, all that's on. Got some different nuts for everything, little lock nuts, so those won't just back off. Got proper U-bolts. Got this side all drilled. Gotta still do that side, which that side might be a problem because like right there was the park brake. I cut the park brake out because it's not even connected, so not too worried about it, but there's a little dimple in the frame that I might have to pound out where that plate sits on the other side. And speaking of that plate, I got another problem I discovered. I actually saw it on a YouTube video. They were working on a 1 ton. He said this is a 1 ton problem. This is a 3/4 ton that I have, but because of the crew cab, I believe they come with the 1 ton frame. 1 ton frame is actually wider, so the shackle hits. So I gotta notch out the frame there so that the shackle can go in. I'm gonna do that on both sides, obviously. And then pound that thing back, drill those holes, and then that side should be on. I got some nice measurements from some people online for where to put these, and I've also got these, so kind of did the measurement out, and then I hold this up to it, line it up with it, and mark it, and it seemed to turn out pretty fine on the other side there. It looks really good, so I'm gonna do it on this side too, the exact same way, obviously, and hopefully it works out well. She's sitting, well, hanging on her own weight right now. Just getting ready to put some tires on it. Everything worked out great. Did the notches. So you can see just a little notch there. Got room. This one, as you can see, wants to sit a little cockeyed, and I had trouble fighting to get it together. And that's mostly because of this, but once I get an engine in here, so there's weight on the front end, I'll roll this outside and tweak this over with the truck. Probably just hook a chain around it and drive off that way. Not super aggressively, little tweaks at a time until this is fairly straight. And then hopefully that will kind of fix that. But until then, it'll be like that. That'll be fine. Yeah, I'm going to put some tires on this, see how high she sits. And yes, I do realize I need an engine in it to see how high it fully sits. I love this. On boggers, can't really see because it's dark, but on boggers, on boggers, on boggers, on boggers. Square body, OBS. I really want to get working on this again soon, which actually I'm going to talk to somebody today. I got some running around to do later today, and I'm going to stop in a welder repair shop and talk to them about that thing. See if I'm just an idiot, or if they can look at it and figure it out, or if they can look at it and figure out that I'm just an idiot, or if it actually needs something. Out here working on the crew cab, and I'm tucked way back there. So I hear footsteps in my garage. So I stand up and come around, and the old man from next door, he's probably 75, he's standing there. He's like, "Hey, can you help me? I gotta get to an appointment, and my garage door, the spring just broke, so I can't get out of my garage." So I went over there, helped him lift it up, and blocked it off so he could get out. And then I said, "Do you want me to close this?" And he's, "Oh, no, I'll just leave it open, and so I can come park back in it." I'm like, you really want to leave your garage open when you're not home? He's like, yeah, okay, yeah. I said, I can close it. So pulled the board out, closed it after he drove out, and he thanked me, and he's off to his appointment on time. Glad he can come over, and he's okay asking for help. So I'm debating if I want to move on to the back of the truck or keep going on the front, because just because the axle's under doesn't mean the front is done. I still got to do brakes, got steering to hook up, still got a bunch of stuff to do for the engine, and there's also this. I knew about this when it was on my old truck. So I don't know if the wheel bearing just needs to be tightened up or if it needs a new one. I'll probably get new ones, new wheel bearings, calipers, rotors, all that stuff. But it's kind of tricky to get because I need for a big hub Dana 44. And most places when I say that, they're like, what? So I gotta try to, I think this is out of like a 76 to 78 K20. So I gotta order parts for that. I'll have to find out exactly what that's from. I'm gonna try to find some numbers on it or something. And yeah, wheel bearings, brakes, all that good stuff. Steering wise, I don't know if I need to swap to a 4-wheel drive box. I know the splines are different, but I think it's because the 4-wheel drive one just has a keyway in it. So, but I think 4-wheel drive pitman arm might will work on a 2-wheel drive. I don't know. I'll have to set this up nice and straight, set this up nice and straight, and then take a pitman arm and drag link or whatever the hell you want to call this, and see if it works. If not, I do have 2 4-wheel drive boxes. So I mean, actually I got the box from the donor truck that all this is from, so I could always put that in here. A lot of people do like the 2-wheel drive boxes because, as you can see, it's a lot easier for doing a crossover steering. But I'm not doing that. I don't have the funds for that. And really, I know it handles nicer and stuff, but I really don't have a problem with this, especially since I'm not going stupid tall. So I got the back end situated here. Got the wheels off, started pulling the axle out. Obviously I can't do the other side because it'll hit the wall, but I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I could just drop the whole thing off. Just cut all the U-bolts and let it fall out. Truck's not as high up as I would have liked it, but there's not a lot of low points on the back except the axle. So when you're taking the axle out and working with the leaf springs and everything, there's not a whole lot of places to go. I do need some taller jack stands. I was thinking of putting them up on a wheel, but just the wheels I have, I didn't like how they sat on there, and I'm not going under a truck with like 4,000 pounds above me on sketchy stuff like that. So, and I realize I'm saying that as there's a socket extension holding the truck up, but that's been the same extension that's been holding tons of trucks up on that thing, so seems to be holding up. Nobody's died yet, but yeah, gonna start unbolting this thing, drop it out, and then I gotta do all the rivets on the back here. I don't have to do the front because the front will be the same on both trucks. The reason I'm changing the back there is because I've already got one that's made as a shackle flip, so I don't have to build one like I did on the Suburban. It is, you can see some leaf springs right there, and it's connected to all that way back in there. So all this heavy stuff that's up here, I gotta take out to get to that. Undo the leaf springs from the bushings, undo all the shackle flip, which I might measure and see what that's like. I might use those lift springs in here depending on length and thickness. I think they're like 2 to 4 inch lift springs, so if I do the shackle flip, that's 4, and if they're 4-inch springs, that's 8. The front is sitting at about 8 right now, plus the weight of the engine. Although the back, plus the weight of all that, would bring it down a little bit. Plus I could always make the front a little taller, and I'll probably put a 0 rate in the back too. So yeah, probably end up, the whole truck's probably gonna end up about 8 or 9 inches plus the 3-inch body lift. I didn't plan to go that high. I originally planned for like 6 to 8, and now it looks like it's going to be somewhere in 10 to 12. But, oh well, it is what it is. I'm not upset at that. And I also want to point out, I'm not just changing the rear diff because of one missing blown up bearing and because the other diff has a locker. I've always suspected this diff of being bent, this driver's side wheel, ever since I got the truck. The top leans in towards the truck, which very well may be why it wrecked the wheel and it came off. Aluminum wheel, sideways pressure that it's not designed for, I don't know. Or I did forget to torque the lug nuts, I have no idea. But even bringing this truck home, I totally forgot about that. And then bringing the truck home, I had a buddy haul it on the trailer, and I'm following behind in the avalanche, and I just see this tire leaning in like this just the whole way. And I even, my axle seals all leaked and everything when I got this truck, and I had to fix that. So I pulled all this apart. Like, it leaned in, I didn't like it. I pulled it all apart, thought maybe I could do the bearings and the seals and everything. It would stop the leak and it would make it straight. It stopped the leak, but it never made it straight. So I've always had kind of a hunch that this is kind of bent in a little bit. So I'm swapping it for that reason also, not just for the locker, because I don't want to replace a bearing. I'll probably have to replace the bearings in the other one anyways. Actually, before I get too far into this, I should probably take apart that other diff and see what it's all about. Maybe we'll hop over there and do that. Got this thing at a decent workable height to pull it open. As you first notice about it, I've already talked about this before, but if I remember correctly, I actually got it backwards. This one has a short side and a long side so that the pinion is center, and I believe the other one, it's got even sides and then the pinion's actually off. So this one actually has 2 different size axle shafts. I'll have to find the other one at the farm. But yeah, it's different for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a different year thing. I don't know. If anybody knows anything about that, please feel free to let me know. Let's pop this open and see what it looks like inside. So I think out of all the diffs I've opened on this YouTube channel, this one actually has been the best. As you can see, there's a little bit of metal shavings, but nothing too concerning, just seems like normal wear. A little bit of rust on the gears, but it's been sitting for 5 years, so I'm not surprised. And as you can see, there's no spider gears, it's just one big block of metal in there. And a little bit of gunkies, but nothing too bad. The one bearing looks good as far as I can see, but it looks fine on the crew cab too. I think it's the other bearing. These have 2 pinion support bearings, and the other one's the one that's obviously gone on that one. But everything looks good on this as far as I can tell. I'm no diffologist. What's the diff, right? I'm not funny. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing, so this should be ready to go in. And then I'll probably deal with the brakes once it's in. And another thing I noticed about this, some welds here. Somebody's welded these tubes to the casing. I don't believe that that's factory. I mean, if we just hop over to the crew cab here, let's see. Well, it does have them. They're not as nice. Maybe, I wonder if that one, I wonder if the pinions turned up, if they drilled the holes, caulked it, and then re-welded them. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. That diff, as you can see, it has a locker in it, and it was in a big mud truck that I got that I don't know the history on. We'll post a picture overlaying this video. It was a 76 K5 Blazer I bought for $300. I'll have to have an episode talking about the truck one day if there's enough interest.